AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys Breakfast Meal and Huntrix Meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman.
Hello.
Good boy.
Live from Joe's mom's basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and what events are going to shape 2026? You know how to find out? You head to Walmart and you buy a Magic 8-Ball. That's how. So how did our 8-Ball fare last year? What's on our minds for 2026? We'll look back at the year in review and peek ahead with our roundtable panelists today. And now, a guy who's wearing his Swami hat and ready to predict the future, it's Joe Saul-Sehy.
Welcome to our first live recording of 2026. I am Joe Saul-Sehy. Welcome. Let me be the first to welcome you to the first Friday episode of the new year. And if you're new here, the thing we do right up front before anything else is we look into the crystal ball and we say, what's going to happen in the following year? And last year, our Magic 8-Ball had pretty decent year. We're going to see if it can continue its great ways this year. Let's introduce you to the people that are going to help us out. First of all, you already said hello to neighbor Doug, but the guy across the card table from me is Mr. OG. How are you, man?
Just ready to hit the ground running.
Yes. You're ready to roll on the Fridays, all stretched out. Got your predictions ready?
I'm working on them. Waiting to have them manifest.
And the person who's halfway across the country, Mindy Jensen from BiggerPockets Money's here. How are you?
Joe, I am fantastic. It's lovely to see you. I love your blue glasses.
Well, thank you. I love your pink microphone.
Thanks.
We got good stuff happening. So for the three people that don't know about BiggerPockets Money, tell everybody what you and Scott do over there.
Scott and I talk about money. We talk about...
Shut up.
Yeah, really. We talk about the journey to financial independence and what you do when you get on the other side.
Super fun show. And you guys, by the way, are like, I don't know, just the teamwork between the two of you, fantastic. But knowing both of you independently as well, Mindy, you guys get along so well and you could not be more different.
We really couldn't. And that is kind of why we get along so well. I'm not trying to step on his toes with, oh, but I know that too. And he's not trying to step on mine. We just get along really, really well because we have such different perspectives because we come from such different backgrounds.
It is a super partnership, and we'll link to BiggerPockets Money in the show notes. And the guy who, we don't have a crystal ball and we didn't have any other thing. This guy brings the magic to the first show every year. Mr. Len Penzo's here. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. New Year's, good to see 2026 finally here. 2025, I thought was kind of a rough one, but nice to see 2026 come in.
Well, some good stuff happened. I mean, you had a full year retirement, Len.
I did. Not my first one. It's my second full year.
That's your second full year?
Yeah. It was great.
See, time flies.
It goes
I thought
fast.
it was like 18 months ago, but it's been longer than that.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. But doing good. I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to have fun. And I really am anxious to see how the 8-Ball did last year. So we'll see.
Yeah. So let me ask you a couple questions. The Magic 8-Ball feeling good? It's been fed and watered and ready to roll today, ready to rock?
I'll be honest. I haven't taken it for a test run. today. So we'll see. It's going to. Do you want to give it a quick test question?
Mindy, do you have a test question? Like one that we already know the answer to?
Oh.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one. Something we know the answer to. So we'll know
if it's ready to rock.
On the money.
Is OG drinking red wine?
That'll work.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Was OG drinking red wine?
It is a certainty.
There we go.
We're on the money.
She's tuned up.
All right. So that is the truth. In just a moment, we're going to see how well the Magic 8 Ball did on Mindy's, Len's, and OG's predictions last year. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to make new predictions for 2026. What do we hope the future holds? You're about to find out. First, we have a couple sponsors help us keep on keeping on. We're going to hear from them, and then we'll see how the Magic 8 Ball did last year. Spring cleaning's made its way to my closet. This time of year always makes me rethink exactly what's in my closet. Really want to keep fewer things, but I also want to keep better ones. I want to feel confident, and to feel confident, looking the part's a big piece of that. So I want pieces that are well made and that are easy to wear all the time. And that's why I keep coming back to Quint. The fabrics feel elevated. The fits are thoughtful. Pricing actually makes sense. As I'm swapping out and I'm cutting, the few additions I'm making all come from Quint. Quint makes high quality everyday essentials using premium materials like 100% European linen. They're insanely soft, flow knit activewear fabric. Their men's linen pants and shirts are lightweight. They're breathable. They're comfortable. Basically the perfect layer for spring. The pants strike the right balance between laid back and refined. If you saw the video of me on stage at Retire Meet, those pants are from Quint. It was really cool. I came off stage and Christine Benz from Morningstar getting ready to go on behind me and said, "Love your pants." Not generally. I absolutely love them. I think they make me look put together without trying too hard. And they're flow knit activewear, moisture wicking, anti-odor, soft enough that you'll actually want to wear it all day. The best part is their prices. This is important, stackers. They are 50 to 60% less than similar brands. How? Quince works directly with ethical factories, cuts out the middlemen, so you're paying for quality, not brand markup. Everything's designed to last and make getting dressed easy, which is another thing I think we all want. I love those pants that I wore on stage. It's the cashmere sweater that every time I wear it, Cheryl goes, "That is my favorite sweater on you." It looks great, feels great, and I don't have to have 50 things in my closet. So, like I am, refresh your wardrobe with Quint. Go to quince.com/SB for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. Go to QUINCE.com/SB for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/SB. You may not know that when we started Stacking Benjamins, it was a blog. And even then, just the startup cost, I remember thinking, is this the right thing? And what if I write things and nobody comes, right? Well, luckily, that didn't end up happening. But starting something new isn't just hard. It's terrifying. There's so much work. You're not sure whether it's going to work out. You're not sure if anybody's going to read it. And then we change it to a podcast. Is anybody actually going to listen, right? What if nobody wants all the stuff that we have? Well, had I used Shopify, it would have been even easier because with their expertise, their helpful tools, and their easy-to-use platform, that's something that would have made Stacking Benjamins more effective much, much more quickly. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Names you've heard of like Heinz and Mattel, Shopify, Gymshark, Aviator Nation, Allbirds, also all Shopify. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button? It's used by millions of businesses around the world. It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. It also helps boost conversions, meaning less carts going abandoned and more sales for you. So you're stacking Benjamins much more quickly. time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/SB. Go to shopify.com/SB. That's shopify.com/SB. All right, let's go back in the time machine and see where we started off last year. We actually started off with a fun one. Most of our questions are about money, but of course, we couldn't start off 2025 about money. We had to start off with this.
In keeping up with Paula's asking about the royals, I am going to go with American royalty. Will Keeping Up with the Kardashians finally be canceled?
This is so important to our financial future. This is important to our financial future, Mindy, and I'm glad you asked it, because what a way to start off 2025 was asking that important question.
Yes, I don't actually know if they got canceled, though.
Well, here is the answer. The Kardashian-Jenner family came back with season 7 starting in October 23rd of this year. So the answer is no, they did not get canceled. But that's not, we don't really care if they got canceled. We care if the Magic 8 Ball thought that it get canceled or not. So let's see if the 8 Ball got that one right.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Oh, you're happy. Oh, so the Magic 8 Ball starts off 0 for 1, but that means that we can put our rally caps on, right?
Yeah, it can only get better from here, right?
It's going to be fantastic. All right, so where do we go from there? Well, we had a question, our first question about money, and it was this one.
Magic 8 Ball, will Macy's declare bankruptcy in 2025?
Macy's?
Yes.
Wow. Now, what we were worried about, Len, we were worried, of course, at the time. I think you were worried about the fact that retail just having a difficult time and Macy's kind of not struggling at the end of last year.
Yes, that's exactly right. But I think they're still around, right? I watched the parade.
Yes.
So they're still here.
At least the parade is here. The good news, though, everybody, is that Macy's is still around. So that is good news. But the question is, did the 8 Ball think it was still around? And here's what the 8 Ball had to say.
Yes.
The answer is absolutely yes. I don't think that surprises you, Len, that the 8 Ball said yes.
Well, I'm disappointed because I know that's going way out there. The 8 Ball's really he's
well, the 8 Ball did go way out there, as you said last year.
You know how baseball has the Mendoza line in baseball where the batter's hitting 200, under 200. He's in I'm afraid here the Mendoza line for the 8 Ball is 500. I mean, if he ends up batting under 500, we're better off flipping a coin, right? So I'm getting a little worried here. We're headed for the 8 Ball's version of the Mendoza line.
We got 12 questions left. It's 0 for 2, but that doesn't mean that it's going to end poorly. You know what's funny, guys, is we predicted last year. Well, we didn't predict, but our discussion last year was around the fact that we thought that retail might continue to struggle, especially with the tariffs. And yet what we saw was not that at all. Retail numbers, we're recording this actually a little early during the holiday season. Retail numbers were expected to be higher. They were expected to grow at a more modest pace than they did last year. But generally, OG, retail has been okay. People are out there still spending money, OG.
Yeah, I don't have any facts on this, so I don't know if that's true or not, but it sure seems anecdotally that nobody's really concerned about anything.
You know what I think it is? I think a lot of it has to do with the stock market. I mean, the stock market's been doing very well this year. I think it's, we're in mid-December and it's
another all-time high, Len.
I think the NASDAQ's at 20% for the year. I think the Dow and the S&P are over, between 10 and 15%. And when your portfolio's up, maybe you feel better about spending.
Why does it always surprise people, Mindy, that the stock market's at all-time highs when really that's kind of the way it's designed, that it's going to hit all-time highs, hopefully most years?
Yeah, well, people are surprised because when the stock market is down, it's a huge news story. The Dow lost 15 points today. Well, what does 15 points mean? It's really not that much, but if you don't know anything about the stock market, then you could think that was a lot. So I think there's a lot of people who are listening to the headlines and not diving deep.
It's so frustrating that, I don't know. I remember when I first watched CNBC and I was just lost. I felt like they were speaking a different language. And it turns out the good news is, Len, we didn't even need to learn that language.
No. Index funds solve everything. I mean, just all you need to know is index funds, really.
I know. I thought it was going to open up this whole cool new world, and yet it did not. All right, what do we have next? The next question up came from OG, and it was this one.
Well, we were talking about mortgage rates before, and I'm just going to steal this one from Mindy so she doesn't get it. So 30-year mortgage rates right now, about 7.25 as we record it today. My question is, will we find 30-year rates, so the normal 30-year mortgage rate, will it be below 6.5 at the end of this year?
30-year mortgage rate below.
30-year mortgage rates down 75 bips, as the cool kids say.
And it's funny, I'm going to stop it right there because it turns out that we did get lower interest rates, OG.
Mm-hmm. What, 4 times, I think? Something like that?
It was a wild year.
But I don't know that the most recent one's been factored into the market yet.
It's factored in before it even gets announced that it's being cut.
Mm-hmm. Meaning to say that when you see it on the news, don't expect to see a radical change the next day.
So they dropped a long way, OG. What was our final look? Did it reach 6.25?
Seems to be right at the buzzer. Yep.
On October 24th, we had 6.13. So, and frankly, at the time that we record this, it's a little above 6.25, but it's been hovering right around. So the answer is it did reach it though by December 1st. So the answer is yes. What did the 8-ball say?
The answer is no.
Oh my God.
Well,
0-3, just like the Chiefs started off this year.
and sadly, Mindy, the Chiefs really didn't rebound either.
Sadly?
They did not rebound. If you are a Chiefs fan, this is not your favorite season.
No, it is not. And that's spoken like a Chiefs fan. You a Chiefs fan?
I watch football games. My husband roots for the Bears, so I like to watch a team where the quarterback actually throws to somebody who catches it on purpose. So I will watch the Chiefs. I will watch the Patriots.
The Bears actually having a good year this year.
Bears are kicking everyone's butt.
I'm super excited that the Bears are having such a good year, but you wouldn't think that they're having such a good year to hear my husband screaming at the TV. Because they don't play like a good team. They just happen to win.
Because he knows they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, he might not know that, but
he's still hoping they get a first round bye, Dougie.
Everybody's hoping they get a first round bye.
They'll lose which ensures that they're going to lose their first game in the playoffs even more.
Yes. That's actually one of my predictions.
Let's go to the fourth one.
Wait a minute. So just to be clear, is the 8-ball 0 for 3 now?
The 8-ball is now 0-3.
Okay. Very good.
Len, we're having not a great year so far,
good.
But there's 9 to go. So
yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
The only way is up, as they say. Let's see what's next. This last year, some disturbing devastation from hurricanes. And Vincent asked a question that's unlike one that we've asked here before. He said the official hurricane season is considered over on December 1st. So in 2025, Len, will the Atlantic Basin produce 15 or more named storms and or strike the continental U.S. with 3 or more named storms? That's what he wants to know. We definitely hope that answer is no. What's funny is some people might be asking, what does this have to do with money? Well, the last couple of years we've seen, especially in the Southeast, homeowners prices go up. Of course, there's areas by you, Mindy, where homeowners prices also have gone through the roof because of fires. Len, by you, because of fires. And well, heck, you had a fire on the hill behind your house.
You know what? And it's not just homeowners, it's auto insurance too. It's just crazy. Insurance. I just saw a survey. Most people, of all the things that they're worried about price increases, it's not food, groceries, fuel, it's insurance. That's people's most item that has impacted them the most in 2025 is rising insurance costs.
And in 2026, healthcare.
Yes.
But congratulations to all the insurance companies on their record profit years this year.
It's a win for somebody.
Yeah, someone.
Looking at the Southeast, remember this time last year, Asheville, North Carolina, really on our minds, right? Because who would have thought that hurricane would have hit there? So the question was, would 15 named storms happen or 3+ strike the United States? The Atlantic Basin produced 13 named storms. So the answer was, thank goodness, no, that didn't happen. And for the first time in a decade, Not one struck the U.S. this season. As far as the U.S. is concerned, it was a good year. Of course, Jamaica's feeling a little differently than the U.S. mainland is right now, but we didn't have any hits. So the answer here is no. What did the 8-ball say?
Definitely yes.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh my God. This is embarrassing.
That magic 8-ball is following your 2008 Lions, Joe.
The 8-ball's been talking to James Franklin over at Penn State. For non-sports fans,
oh my Lord.
James Franklin got fired partway through this year because that team was supposed to be doing really well, OG, and could win nothing. So not the world's best year. All right, we go
Shade
to the
thrown from the Michigan State fan. That's fun.
Michigan State had a great year. We improved our football team. We fired our coach as well, but let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Question number 5.
I don't want to do any more doom and gloom because that's not very fun. So let's talk about the stock market. Will the Dow close above 50,000 by December 1st, 2025?
Wow.
Ooh,
Well, before you ask it, Len, let's talk about where the Dow Jones Industrial Average is today. Where are we at today, Mindy?
I believe we are at 42,000 today, 42,528.36 at this very
42,000 and change, Mindy. And the stock market had a very good year.
It had a very good year, but I don't see that we touched 50,000. I see we got super close. We didn't actually touch it.
Nope, we made it to 48,254. So from 42,000 and change, though, to 48,000. Not a bad year, OG. Pretty good year for the stock market.
I have no idea. I didn't have any idea what the Dow was at. When I heard Mindy say 50,000, I was like, what the hell is she on? And so I was looking it up when you were playing it because I think about it, the S&P. But if you asked me to guess, I would have probably said we were in the 30,000 range or 25. But do you remember, what's the lowest number you remember on the Dow? Like as an adult?
Probably in the 20s.
Oh,
No.
Mindy.
Oh my God.
Don't
Way
act
below
like
that.
you're that young, Mindy. No way.
600?
No, I was going to say
You don't
like
remember
18
600.
I was thinking like 1800.
400-ish?
You don't remember that was in the 70s, bro.
9?
400. It was 400 in the Great
I
Depression.
started the Dow.
1986, it was 1,700.
I know those numbers. I'm asking what you remember.
I remember like 20,000. I was in high school in 1986.
I remember a book called Dow 20,000.
Yeah.
I remember people wearing those Dow 10,000 hats.
10,000.
I remember the pictures of the people wearing the hats.
The big 10,000. Yeah, I remember 6. Like I have a memory of 6. Anyway, that's crazy.
So we did not reach it. We did have a good year. We did not reach it. It wasn't the banner year. When you said 50,000, Mindy, where did that come from? Were you hoping it was going to be just the doors blown off year because of AI, or what was going on in your mind?
Oh, 1 year ago, I was not thinking about AI at all. We had such a big run. I mean, if you look at the historical returns of the Dow, it is like up and to the right at this angle. It's not flat. It's not just slightly. It's really, really angled sharply. What is that, a 45-degree angle? So I just assumed that it would go. Plus 50,000 is a nice round number. If I had known, I would have been like, it's going to be 48,416.
But still so close. It made it. So what a good year. Let's see if the 8-ball, the correct answer here was no, it did not reach 50, even though it had a good year.
Yes, it is certain.
It's certain.
This is pathetic.
The 8-ball and the 2008 Lions neck and neck. I guess down.
So let's just be clear. We're 0 for 5 or 0 for 6?
We are 0 for 5.
Okay. Holy cow. This is all turning into the Jim Cramer of predictive balls, isn't it?
Yeah, not good. All right. Hopefully we rally here from 0 and 5.
Yeah.
We could still finish.
Need to
Len.
win out to be 50-50, huh?
No, we can win out and be above, right?
We could be
There's
7
12
and
questions.
5 still. We could be 7 and 5. So let's see what's on tap next.
Of course, I've got to do a precious metals question, right? Let's shift over from gold. Let's go to silver this year. I want to know if silver, will it get to $40 by December 1st? $40.
Oh, that'd be a nice thing. I remember we had a silver expert, David Moore, on, and David had this great quote I love, Len, that said that silver will frustrate you just a little longer than you'll have money. And I wasn't wrong there, Len, that silver will frustrate you. But if you were holding on to silver this year, silver and gold, baby.
Yeah, you got it. Silver's up over 100% this year, and gold's up like 70%. So yeah, it's been a good year. Been a very good year.
So the answer is yes. And these questions were all before December 1st. It hit 56.45. So way above, way above the $40 number that, Len, you were looking for. So the answer is yes. What'd the 8-ball say?
Without hesitation, yes.
Oh, it's finally woke up.
Hallelujah.
After being asleep for the first 30 minutes of today's show, it decides, it decides, yes, it actually is going to pretend that it has something good going on. I'm sure we're going to expect another one from you, Len, coming up. All right, OG.
I have a high school senior this year who has 4 months left in his high school career. And a lot of questions about where he's going to go to college, has a lot of different options. But I'm curious if he'll get into his number one school. So will my son... What? What's so funny?
Nothing. I'm just thinking a good financial question. It is a good financial question for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you want to know how much you owe.
How much do I owe?
Magic 8-ball, how screwed am I?
All right. Will my son next year on December 1st be enrolled at the University of Michigan?
All right, there's the question. NOG, what's the answer to that question a year later?
He's very happily enrolled at Texas A&M.
At Texas A&M. He's an Aggie, not a Wolverine.
Another good football school.
This year.
Good year for football for A&M. Also, happier wallet, OG.
Yeah, a little bit. In state.
Overall, good stuff. All right. So the answer is no. He was not at the University of Michigan. What did the 8-ball say?
It is a certainty.
Oh.
We're back on.
I feel like
track.
we should just write these down and then just score it out and just be like, "Hey guys, so the 8-ball was 1 for 11."
So there we go.
Let's just do our own from now on.
Nice to know you. No predictions. I love to look back at the last year, but the 8-ball this year is incredibly painful. Hopefully it secures his dignity by running the table, Len.
It's dignity. It's my dignity too. You know, I told you this is like a child of mine. You know, I'm like looking at a kid up on stage on talent night, not doing so hot.
This is a blast from the past. Remember we were worried about this?
Here's a better one. Will we have identified what all the drones are flying over all these random cities by this time, December 1st?
It's funny to look back a year ago. I even forgot, OG, that was a thing. Like I'm like, oh, drones. I totally forgot there was such a thing as drones.
I don't know what's going on in y'all's world with this, but it's not exactly at our house, but our friend who lives about a mile or two north, they can do ice cream drone delivery at their house.
Oh,
it just gets it. And you just wait, and it has a little tracker. Like, we're just a little too far south of the station or whatever. And like, you just see it on the map and just like, and then you hear it goes, zzz, then it like lowers this basket right into your yard. You take your stuff off, you wave, and they go and take off again.
What utopia do you live in?
It's so quick that it's ice cream. Like, it's like, you know, you'd say, well, ice cream, I mean, it's got to melt or whatever. I mean, it's in a freezer container, you know, so it's going to stay somewhat cold, but I wouldn't trust DoorDash with ice cream. Right?
Right.
Like, you wouldn't get like a Frosty from Wendy's on DoorDash, even though it's fast and whatever. It's a wave of the future. What say you about drones there, Lenny?
Well, Joshy, the last job I had before I retired, I was testing drone propellers, and these were humongous propellers. I still don't know if I can say what company this is for, but everybody knows what the company is. They are planning on using drones to deliver some very, very big items in the future. And I don't think it's very far away.
Like
It's
missiles?
going to be, you're going to be shocked at what these companies are going to be delivering to your.
Deliver bombs to bad guys. Kaboom.
It's going to be wild when you see this.
Are you saying, oh, gee, we all know that it's Northrop Grumman? Just think we can deliver these fighter jets. Fantastic. All right. The answer actually, we have from ABC News. The answer is yes, of course. We identified that all the drones, various things going on, but the answer was it was nothing nefarious. There were no aliens attacking.
It was not.
Yep.
What was it? Because I kind of forgot about the whole story. What was it?
It was a host of different things. There were tests going on, companies testing drones, especially in New Jersey. Along with that, as the news started coming out, enthusiasts just started putting drones in the air just to
F with people.
Just to pile on.
mess even more. But it all did start with some companies testing drone ability in New Jersey. So the answer is, well, we have identified what the drones were. Yes. Did the 8-ball say yes?
Everything points to yes.
Well, there we are. 2 in a row.
Yeah, but I want to point out
Well,
that
2 for 3.
the original question, if we would have stuck with Josh's original question, which was, will you be above 50%? He would have been wrong. So
So you're saying the problem is ours, that we don't change our questions.
that's exactly right. It's a
often
question
enough.
problem. Actually,
Yeah.
it's just that we're asking the wrong questions.
That's right. Stuff. We should have asked other questions. Duh. Let's move on to the next round. And we're going to go toward, we can't do this without crypto. Let's do then the next one from our friends in Mom's Basement. And I really like this one because, heck, this year we had gold up so much, as we talked about, and we also had Bitcoin up a lot. This is a fantastic question from Aaron on that very point. Will Bitcoin outperform gold before December 1st of next year? So Bitcoin began the year fairly well. Mindy, you follow Bitcoin?
Not at all.
0. Len?
Yeah, I track it.
Yeah. So Bitcoin versus gold this year?
Not even close. It's not even close. I mean, it's gold's blew it out of the waters. I think Bitcoin is down here, and we're mid-December. It's down on the year. Bitcoin is.
Bitcoin started off strong and then really struggled, really struggled throughout 2025. So the answer then is no, Bitcoin would not outperform gold. And by the way, you guys, Mindy, recently did a story about crypto, didn't you? Did you guys just do an episode on crypto?
No, we did a crypto episode a while ago.
Maybe it was just Scott online talking about crypto and about how he just still doesn't get the fact there's not much use case yet. There should be more use case than there is. And the fact that it feels to him more and more like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, well, that is one of the best performing videos that we have on our site.
Well, I watched it.
I've been saying that, and I'm biased, but I've been saying that for years, that it's a highly speculative asset. That's what it is. And it's masquerading as a monetary system safe haven as opposed, and what it's doing and what it has been doing for a long time, you'll notice it's mirroring most of the time it mirrors the NASDAQ. It acts like a tech stock. So if the NASDAQ's down, Bitcoin's down. If NASDAQ's up, Bitcoin goes up. They track each other fairly closely, especially in the last year or so. That's how I treat it. It's treated as a tech stock.
Well, it's funny, OG. I mean, you look at Bitcoin and people talk about it as a, quote, store of value. Not only is it not a store of value, the volatility is, I mean, can't even really think about it as a diversifier in your portfolio.
It's under the same context, I would think, although Len would disagree with his precious metals as a store of value. It's wildly volatile. And so on a day-to-day basis, it's almost unusable in that context. I think the jury's still out as to whether or not in 20 years from now, it behaves like gold or silver in the sense that over that long time horizon, it does become a little bit more realistic to hold on to value as time goes on.
This is the first year I've heard people ask since crypto's come out, reputable people saying, is crypto really going to be around 15 years from now? Like, is it going to even survive? Let's put on our magic 8-ball hats. Len, do you think crypto is going to survive 15 years?
I'm sure there'll be crypto coins around. There might even be a like what they call the digital U.S. version of the U.S. dollar that the central bank might put out, the Fed.
But I think that's something different. I think U.S. digital currency is a different thing, different beast.
Well, it all depends. Like I said, people can create these things. Anybody, you and I could create our own cryptocurrency tomorrow if we wanted to.
I'm wondering why we didn't.
There's just so many. I know, no kidding. Yeah, but there's just so many of them. So I'm loath to say that they'll never be around. But as I don't think Bitcoin will be, the phenomenon that it has been in the last 10 years. I think it's going the other direction. One of the people I love to follow, a macro analyst, Luke Roman, one of the best ones out there. He was pro Bitcoin for a long, long time, and the two of us used to go back and forth on Twitter quite a bit, debating it. And he's only now just come around, in my view. I mean, he's even admitted that he now thinks he was wrong, and he believes that Bitcoin is not what it was all cracked up to be. So, and that was a big admission for him. So I think the attitudes are changing a little bit.
Mindy, do you think it'll survive 15 years?
Do you remember Flues?
No.
Whoopi Goldberg, it was a way to pay online, and Whoopi Goldberg was their spokesperson. I really like commercials, so I remember these commercials. I pay attention to commercials more than maybe other people do. But I looked up Flues to talk about it. They went out of business in 2001. And then at the bottom it says, see also Beans, digital currency, internetcash.com, virtual currency, vouchers, Bitcoin. I am not a fan of Bitcoin. I don't understand it. I am definitely not asking anybody to explain it to me. I think that it's fluff. And please email Joe.
But will it last 15 years is the question. Not is it anything? Do you think it's going to be around 15 years?
Well, it hasn't been anything for so long. When will it suddenly turn into something? I do think it'll still be around in 15 years, but I think it'll be even less relevant than it is right now.
I wish I'd invested 10 years ago, bought 10 or 20 coins. Boy, that's just looking back. What an idiot I was. But, that's the way it goes.
OG asked, what do I remember the Dow being? What was the first price you heard of Bitcoin? I heard of it at like 6,000 back when Greece was having their financial meltdown and people in Greece were using it. What?
$10. I could, I'm an idiot. But hindsight's 2020.
I mean, for $10, maybe.
The thing though, Len, is that it's fun to go back and look at that stuff because you could also do the same thing with Apple or Nvidia or Amazon or Google or any stock that's gone up really high. The reality is that you also have to have had gone into a coma for the last 10 years because there's no way with a highly speculative thing like Bitcoin is that you would have invested, pick a number. Oh, I should have put 10,000 in. Right? There's no way that you would have watched that go to 20, down to 2.
Yes, that's
up
right.
to 100 and gone,
exactly.
YOLO, baby, let's go.
Exactly.
And then watch it go to 50 and then 500 and then back to 75 and then 1 million and not get out. Like somewhere in there, you would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe this thing's back to 500K. I'm out.
When it got to I think it was 16,000. I don't know why that number sticks in my head. When it got to that, I was like, this is crazy. And even then, if you got in then, you'd have 5 times your money. It's just, but it's hard to tell.
Assuming that you kept it the whole time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to have the stomach.
And never did anything different and never panicked out. And I really wish my mom would have taken all my college money and dumped it in Apple stock also.
Sure.
Or, I would have been smart enough to, do something as simple as put $166.67 a month in my Roth when it first came out in 1997 because I didn't have that money. And I was like, I don't have it. So whatever, it'll be fine. It'll work out. I'd have more money doing that than any Bitcoin, scheme. So the answer to your question, Joe, is it will be around. I think just the limited supply of it makes it somewhat interesting. Although I did see a thing the other day about, it was on Forbes. It wasn't a meme, but it was basically a cover of all of the covers that they've put on one of these magazines. And I think maybe it was Forbes. And it had like, who is the guy from FTX? That
Sam Altman-Fried.
Yes, Sam Friedman.
Or Sam Fried. Samuel
Bankman-Fried.
Bankman-Fried. Yeah, that's
Sam Altman's the OpenAI guy. So it's not him.
And we're getting sued.
Well, whatever. Anyway, so the guy from FTX was on one. The gal that like had the blood thing that she scammed a bunch of people out of.
Oh, Theranos.
She was on one. And there was another one that I thought was interesting. And then the last one that they showed was the guy from Michael Saylor, the guy from MicroStrategy.
Yes.
It couldn't have been more interesting in what they've done to their company. But anyways, all that to say, I suspect that it's still around. And I suspect that it works a lot like any other limited resource investment at that point. That's what I think.
Well, so the answer is, will Bitcoin outperform gold? The answer was no by a long shot. Let's see if, it's got to run the table, Len, at this point to be 500.
Everything points to yes.
So this is cool because in my notes, I had that it got it wrong, but I didn't notice that I changed the question. Second time here, Len, we changed the question. We turned it around. And because of that, Mr. Predicto gets it right.
You know, it works out because the previous question change worked against the 8 ball. So this one worked for the 8 ball. So it all evened out.
Yeah, that is fantastic. All right, we have just a couple more to go. Let's see what's up next. Mindy, let's get your last one.
Okay, so way back when, 100 years ago in 1990, I was in college and I was taking a business class. This was back when you had to get the stock prices on the newspaper because the internet either didn't exist or I didn't have it.
I do those before my client meetings, by the way. I go in and find out the closing price of the day before and take out my calculator and figure it out for clients.
Yeah, remember. So in the business class, we were supposed to pick one stock at the beginning of the year and just follow it. People were, they had their favorite or whatever. And I just went like this and stuck my finger out and I landed on Berkshire Hathaway. And I was like, this is really expensive. Is that for one share of stock? And I want to say it was like $20,000, but maybe I'm way wrong because I don't remember what the price was. I just remember that it was this. Yeah. Everything else was like $12 and this is $20,000. Like it had this giant space in the tiny
Mindy, it was
20,007/8.
If you remember.
Yeah, okay. So 20,000. I did remember that, right. So if I would have bought a share back then, it would have taken all my money. I want to know if Berkshire Hathaway A shares, because they have since split into A and B shares, will A shares hit $950,000 a share by December 1st?
And for just again, for people that don't follow it, where's it trading at as we record this, Mindy?
It is a high of $724,000 in November.
All right. So that's a great question, Mindy. And I love let's just track Berkshire Hathaway for a year, especially this year when, does it make you sad that Warren Buffett is retiring here, that just retired?
Honestly, I talk about financial independence and early retirement, and Warren is like a little bit past the early retirement portion of my audience. So I'm glad he's going to be able to finally enjoy himself.
You don't think it's a little early?
No, I think he'll be okay.
If he lives to 120, I guess you could call it early retirement. So it's possible.
If OG retires at 90, he plans on living past 120. So that'd be a nice long 30-year retirement. Yeah. The question was, is it going to get to $950,000? The answer is back on May 2nd, it actually hit $812,855. So that was the high that we reached in 2025.
Isn't it down this year? Isn't it like a fluke year for that stock? Isn't it down?
I think so.
It's at just above 800,000 now. So it has continued to have a little bit of a struggle. I wonder if people are worried about the changeover.
I thought for a while there, it was definitely down, or which is, very strange for that stock.
April 1st, it was 800,000. April 4th, it was 742,000. So that's a pretty big drop. It got all the way down to 694,000 in August.
Yeah, I remember it had a 6 handle on it. Yes.
And then roll back really has had a nice rebound, but still down. So if you're dollar cost averaging in during that downturn, it could have been a decent year for you, right? Yeah. So the answer is no, it didn't reach it. What did the 8 ball say?
Yes, it is certain.
Cha-ching. And there goes our 50. There goes our 500 year.
We're out of the playoffs.
Just like the Chiefs.
Just like the Chiefs.
We've just been eliminated.
Or the Cowboys.
Or the Raiders.
All right. So we need a fun question. We got one right here. All right, Len, you are up to bat, my friend.
I'm going to go with a kind of a fun one, if you don't mind, Joe. Taylor Swift still big news and all that still, even though here turn of 2025. I want to know if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are going to get engaged by December 1st.
Well, and the other question is then if they do get engaged, do we stop getting every 4 minutes of my football game Taylor Swift signings?
Yes, exactly.
The answer is I haven't seen, because the Chiefs are not that great this year. We did not see a lot of Taylor Swift. At least I didn't on national TV as much. But the news, I don't know, Len, is it good news or bad news for you that the answer is yes, they got engaged August 26th of this year?
The only thing that is going to determine whether it's good news or bad news is if my little baby here got the answer right or not. That's all I care about.
That's all you were. He's like, I don't care.
Really don't care.
Just please protect your dignity, 8 Ball. Please. The answer is yes, they did. What did the 8 Ball say?
Ask later when the time is right.
Well, and it's interesting, Len, because I said next year anyway, so I got to ask that again. Will Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift be engaged by December 1st of this year?
The answer you seek is yes.
Oh, okay. So we got close.
We're approaching respectability. No, maybe not. Less than a coin toss, I guess, isn't respectable. But
if we get the next one, though, we're within spitting distance of a coin toss. We've got this last one that came from the Stacker community. This one came from Glenn. He finished it off last year, and it was this. Glenn asked that I think the world wants to know, and we'll know this by December 1st. And I hope the answer here is yes, everybody. But Glenn asked the question, will the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl in 2025? And I know all of America wants that to be yes, because it's America's team. And I know either we lost people or they're all glued in. Who knows? But what's the answer? The answer, sadly, was they got knocked out by the Washington Commanders.
So much crying.
Sadly. I know, Mindy, you cried the whole time. Just unbelievable how that could happen. This year, as we record this, we're not sure they're going to make the playoffs. So they could be going the way of those Chiefs you've been talking about, Mindy. Oh, gee, will the Lions make the playoffs? Are the Cowboys going to make the playoffs?
Cowboys are not. No, they're out now.
Lions, you think, probably going to be out too?
They got a better shot. Would have been nice for them to win last week. But
man, now Len out there in Southern California, you a Rams fan?
yes, I am, Joe.
And so you saw the Rams.
Yes, I saw the Rams pummel the Detroit Lions.
Let's move on. Let's just focus on the 8 Ball, Len.
Okay.
The answer was no, they were not. To try to come within one of 500, please say no.
Yes.
There it is. I think that's a great way to end the first half of today's show. And there it was not.
That's brutal.
Well, I think, Len, before we ask questions for the second half of the show, before we make predictions, here's what's going to happen, Stackers. Len's going to take the 8 Ball out back, give it a firm talking to, maybe change out a few of the batteries or something, Len, so that when we ask you questions for next year here, it's much more ready to roll. Len's going to do that. You're going to hear from our sponsors who make sure we can keep on keeping on one more time. And then we're back with the questions. Don't you know why we're going to ask based on last year? But 2 years ago it was good. Before that, it was on a roll. Can it get back on a roll? We're going to find out here in the second half. Dell PCs with Intel Inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. They're for those all-night study sessions, the moment you're working from a cafe and realize every outlet's taken, the times you're deep in your flow and can't be interrupted by an auto update. That's why Dell builds tech that adapts to you. Built with long-lasting batteries so you're not scrambling for an outlet, and built-in intelligence that makes updates around your schedule, not in the middle of it. Find technology built for the way you work at Dell.com/Dell PCs. Built for you.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, Mindy Jensen.
Joe Saul-Sehy.
2026. You're going to be asking 3 questions that are money related. 1 question that's just a fun one that's on your brain. Do you want to start with a fun one or a money one?
Let's start with the money one.
All right. What do you got?
I predict 3 rate cuts before June and then rate increases after those rate cuts spark more inflation. So, Magic 8 Ball. Will there be 3 rate cuts before June?
Before we ask that, Len, three more rate cuts. I mean, this ends up maybe becoming a time to get your debt refinanced if that happens, OG?
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, that would be a good idea to take advantage of that. I'm not on Team Mindy here, unfortunately. I don't think that.
I don't say I want this to happen.
Whatsoever.
I say I think this will happen.
Yeah, you don't think it's going to happen though, OG?
No, there's no reason to do it.
To cut rates 3 more times?
Yeah. What's the purpose? Exactly.
The president has said he wants the rate to be cut. He's going to fire Jerome Powell and get somebody else in there that will reduce rates.
Fire him. He's not a political appointee.
So we end up with, though, Fed chairman much more likely, you're thinking, Mindy? Somebody who's much more likely to change rates to appease the administration.
That is what I am saying.
All right. Well, let's see. Len, is the 8 Ball thing? We're going to have 3 rate cuts by what day?
June 1.
It has been determined so.
Well, normally I'd be pretty excited by that. I'd be very excited by that. But after what we just went through the first half of today's show, Len, I'm not sure if we.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything anymore, but let's be fair. Last year, I was saying that the 8 Ball was going way out on a limb, wasn't I? So
you were. You kept saying, wow.
So we'll give the 8 Ball the benefit of the doubt. But right now, I don't have a lot of faith in the poor guy.
I do think, though, this is in the realm of possibilities. We could get 3 more. We could get some interesting economic data that comes out. Even between the time that we record this in mid-December and the time this is released, we could get some economic data that changes it. So
I think they're predicting two by June of next year right now. I think that's what they have those dot plots and I think right now the prediction is they're leaning towards 2 by June.
Which means a third isn't out of the, I mean, with new information, a third isn't out of the, but that doesn't speak well for the economy if we get that third one, right? I think if we get the third one, the economic data, Mindy's bad enough that we're maybe hurting a little.
There's also the risk, if the economy's doing well and they're cutting rates, I mean, that's inflation. That's very inflationary. So we kind of don't want to do that, I don't think.
Which is why, Mindy, you're talking about, maybe the V.
I think that there will be 3 rate cuts to appease the administration. And those rate cuts will spark inflation because we don't need rate cuts right now. As much as I would love to have lower rates personally, for the economy, it's not a good idea. So I'm not saying that this is a great idea that there's going to be 3 rate cuts. I'm just saying that there will be 3 rate cuts and they will have the adverse reaction that they are supposed to.
Well, let's see. This makes me excited about a year from now to see how this ends up going. Good or bad. Len Penzo, let's have you go second, my friend. You're going to get 3 like Mindy. You'll get 3 money questions and a fun one. Which one you want to start with, a money or a fun one?
I'll start with the money question. Kind of, NVIDIA and their arch rival, the America's NVIDIA, China's their arch rival is I think it's pronounced Huawei. They're the other AI. They're their main competitor. What's interesting is you can invest in NVIDIA. You can't invest in Huawei right now. It's privately held. I want to know if Huawei is going to announce an IPO in 2026.
Wow. What would be the impetus to have that happen? Would that be to just infuse more money into AI?
They need more cash, I would say, for invest. If that's what they're going to do it, I think they would just need more cash to invest and put it towards the development that they're working on. They're in a highly competitive race right now with NVIDIA, and money. You need money to compete. So maybe they have enough with their private investors right now, but maybe they don't. But it would be really cool if they do that IPO. That's a big opportunity for people who might have missed NVIDIA.
Well, and I'm wondering, is it an opportunity though or not? Which was the question I was going to ask, because there's so much media now on the quote bubble. In fact, as we record this today, Fidelity came out just yesterday saying they think that any bubble will still get a smooth line. Like you're not going to have this big crash that people have been predicting the last few weeks. Might be another question we ask. Who knows? But so the question is, will Huawei be public by December 1st of 2026?
Well, let's say just all I'm saying is, will they announce an IPO? They don't even have to put the IPO out.
Okay. Good.
Okay, just announce it.
No.
They will not. I think that seems much more likely as well.
I agree. I don't think they're going to do it.
I think we got a chance of Mindy's being right. I think it's on the outside. I guess in my brain, maybe 40% chance. Len, I think there's probably an 80% chance it's right there. So who knows? We could be 2 for 2 this time next year, which would be a huge change from 2025. Who knows? OG, what's your first one for this year?
I'm just going to go with a real simple one, on a tear. And obviously if we're cutting rates and having all sorts of fun like that, it's going to be party like it's 1999. So is 2026 going to be another plus 15 in the S&P 500?
Wow.
Over 15%.
If we get another plus 15,
sell it all. Like go super short on when you hear this episode in 26, the end of 26 or early 27, whenever it comes out.
What a fantastic year that would be.
And how levered will OG be at the end of the year? No, I'm kidding. If we're at 15. So is the S&P up 15% in 2026?
The answer cannot be found at this moment.
Oh, but it has to be. Press it, Len.
Yes, I am sure.
Let's go. Another great year. We could be 3 for 3. It's not out on a limb yet, Len. I think that we could have a banner year.
I love how it goes from I don't know to these, yes, I am sure.
It's like ChatGPT.
Right. Oh, wait, what? What are we? But yeah. All right. That is round 1. Round number 2, Mindy.
All right, Joe. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's this thing called AI.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
It stands for artificial intelligence, Joe. Let me tell you all about it. It uses a ton of electricity. I predict that electricity rates are going to absolutely skyrocket this year, thanks to just meteoric demand. We've got data center usage. We've got EV adoption. Climate change is real, so everybody's running their air conditioner longer. Even heat pumps are electric. So I predict that electricity rates will spike. And of course, people aren't going to be happy with it. But Magic 8 Ball, will electricity rates 1.5 to 2x by December 1st?
Well, you got to give us a set number.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what they are right now. They're all over the place.
1.5x.
Well, look at your electric bill. Use you as a proxy.
That is a good idea.
I have solar panels.
Is your electric bill 0 though?
My electric bill is $20 because that's the hookup charge.
You can use mine. Do you want to use mine? Hold up. I'll pull up mine.
Do you want to use OG's?
Yeah, let's use OG's.
My kilowatt hour usage is 12.3 cents per. Does that sound right?
Wow, that's cheap. That's very good. But of course, I'm in California. We're way more expensive.
Okay, so you're looking at above 19 then if you want just over 150.
12.3 cents per kilowatt hour is my straight line bill right
18.6 if you want 50%.
All right. So because OG's bill is 12.3 cents, we're going to go with 18.6 or higher. Will the electric rates next year be 18.6 or higher?
You can rely on that.
There you go.
Is it going to be that much higher?
Oh, geez, so sorry.
If you would have told me that healthcare costs were going to jump as much as they did this year, I would have been like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not.
Is electric the next one? Man, I hope not.
I think it's possible. Yeah, the AI is quite a draw. So it is. But we'll see.
And XAI is talking about putting data centers up in space. That's not going to happen this year.
Just the widespread adoption of AI is a big, big, big story. Len, what's your second one?
Okay. Elon Musk, I think he is still the richest man in the world. I saw a thing today that somebody was projecting that he'd be the world's first trillionaire next year because something to do with SpaceX. I believe it's going to go public or something. And then they were saying if that happened, it would increase his wealth enough to make him the world's first trillionaire. So I think that's what I'd like to ask.
I just looked that up. On the day that we record this, there's been a run up in Oracle stock, and Larry Ellison just passed him as the richest person.
For now.
Okay, so Ellison is not a trillionaire, right?
But not a trillionaire. So the question is, will Musk be the first trillionaire?
Yes. Next year, will he become the world's first trillionaire? Or maybe I shouldn't say first, because let me just say, will Elon Musk become a trillionaire in 2026? Okay.
The outcome cannot be predicted.
Well, I know it can, 8-Ball, but we want you to predict anyway.
Try harder.
Yes, without question.
The cool thing about that, Len, is that makes the 8-Ball consistent. If it's going to hit the 15% mark, like OG said, then I think we also get a trillionaire, and it could be Elon Musk.
We could, and I like the good vibes you're putting out, Joe. The positivity, it's bringing up the 8-Ball's self-esteem.
I'm just trying to give it attaboy.
And mine too.
Come on, you can do it. Yes. All right, that means we're back to OG.
Mine's a two-part question, but I think I can still get one answer out of Mr.
Predicto.
And it involves back to Bitcoin, as a matter of fact. And so this year, Bitcoin's kind of
not so much.
And then maybe next year it'll go, who knows? But my question is this: will Bitcoin see 50,000 before 200,000? And I guess that's kind of weird because it's still not time bound, right? I got to give it
that's a yes or no. It's very possible, right? That it can see it. Let's say it gets to 50 and time runs out before it gets to 200.
It could be a tie break one that makes it so that we don't have an even number, which is okay. I'm gonna use this as my question. We'll just see how it goes.
It could hit neither of those.
Exactly. So then the answer
would be no, right?
So does it hit 50 before it hits 200?
Yeah. And since we got to put a time on it before the end of 2026, so
by the end of by December 1, 2026, yeah.
So will Bitcoin see 50K before it sees 200K?
It is a strong possibility.
I think that means yes, right?
So go short Bitcoin and long.
Yeah, it's saying go
S&P.
short Bitcoin. Yep, that's what it's saying.
All right.
Levered 3x, baby.
To be clear, what does that mean then? If it doesn't hit either one?
It's no. It didn't hit 50 before it hit 200,000. Right?
It's okay. We'll figure it out.
We
have a whole year to solve this problem.
We'll fix it in post.
365 odd days to figure out how to answer this question. And there's some chance we don't have to. Maybe it does one or the other.
But you're right, OG. I mean, if it hasn't reached either one, maybe it's a nothing burger, and then that gives us, so we don't have
That's
12.
the tiebreaker.
We got 11, yeah. All right, we are at the halfway point, which means, Mindy, we swing back to you. You've got one money question and one fun one left.
Okay, I predict that the Chicago Bears are going to make it to the Super Bowl.
This is your last money question.
Yes.
She's got money on this.
Do I have to do money next?
No, you don't. I was just kidding.
Okay, I predict that the Chicago Bears will go to the Super Bowl where they will face the Denver Broncos, who are the ones that are going to actually win.
Which piece of that do you want to ask? Will the Chicago Bears make the Super Bowl? Will the Denver Broncos win the Super Bowl? Or the much harder one, which would be, will the Bears face the Broncos and lose?
Ooh, let's do that last one, the hard one.
Oh, you're brutal.
Will the Bears face the Broncos and lose in the 2026 Super Bowl coming up in just over a month?
is a certainty.
Oh, God, no.
I will have you know, I successfully predicted who was going to the
That's
Super
a
Bowl
loser.
in 2007 at the beginning of the season.
Did you really?
You can mark that a loser right now.
Yeah,
We're
that's
0-1.
Of course, I remember, Len, we can go back and play the tape the first time that Donald Trump won, and we were just in the primaries, and you said, will Donald Trump be president? And we're like, there's no way in hell that's going to happen.
Yep, and it was right.
And
So you never know. Maybe, Mindy, it's right.
Yeah. All right, Len, what is your penultimate question?
Well, let's see. Okay, well, obviously I've got to ask a gold question here. So gold right now in mid-December here, it's about 4,300. Will gold get to $6,000 in by December 1st? By December 1st.
Yes, I am sure.
This is like ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT anything, and it's like, what was the article that you read? It's like your mom. It's like your third grade t-ball coach. It's like, of course you can do that.
Of course.
Like, I want to be an astronaut. You should aim for the stars, friend. It's just always so supportive.
Gold can do whatever it wants to if it puts its mind to it.
It's always so supportive of everything you want to do. You're like, I've got 3 days to lose 37 pounds for my photo shoot on the beach. You can do it. Work really hard.
It could happen.
Will OG lose 37 pounds in 3 days?
It is certain.
That would be a 33% gain, basically. A little more than that.
That is 2 in a row where I went, oh, boy. OG?
All right, I'm going back to football because I like the football question. I disagree with both the Bears and the Broncos, but we'll see. But the talk of the town right now is Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. And no, we're not talking about the basketball team because they're not the talk of anything right now. We're talking about the football team, which, by the way, speaking of Indiana basketball, do your kids a favor and show them some old school Bobby Knight videos of him like absolutely losing his mind, because that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Like, there's very rarely do people crash out like that, especially on like public TV, where he just totally glitches out and throws the chair. And then there's another time where he like goes out to like check on his player and he gets teed up for going out to check on his player. And it just all hell breaks loose. It's awesome to watch.
Oh, and he complains to that reporter about how dumb the question was.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really quite good. So do yourself a favor and go watch some old Bobby Knight videos. And then watch Hoosiers, because, why not?
Gotta watch
Gene
Hoosiers.
Love. So is the fine folks in Bloomington, I think, right? Bloomington, Indiana. Are they going to hoist the CFP Natty in 2026?
I am confident it is no.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the money's on Georgia.
Was that cool? He had me, at first he said I'm confident. I was like, oh, good call.
Me
And then he
too.
said, no. That's
Yeah.
It's so hard to win a national championship. So I actually, while I, like much of the nation, were pulling for Indiana, I think,
Yes.
I think the 8 Ball might get that one
Yeah.
right, sadly.
Yeah, the odds are with him.
Mindy, you were going to say?
I was going to say, OG, if you want to see some temper tantrums more recently than Bobby Knight, John Gruden is a good one.
Yeah, he had some pretty good stuff in football, of course. But boy, the old school basketball guys, who was the guy, Gene Keating at Purdue?
Yeah.
Like, him, Judd Heathcote at Michigan State. Good night. Those guys would go crazy. I mean, I'm sure football was the same way.
And in baseball, it'd be some great interviews on tape of Tommy Lasorda.
I was going to say Tommy Lasorda.
And Earl Weaver as well. Both of them.
Earl Weaver.
Yeah.
Those two, you can get some classic videos of them ripping reporters and others, umpires.
Who was the Yankee manager who kept getting fired and would come back and coach again?
Yogi Berra?
No, he was a coach for.
Oh, Billy Martin?
Billy Martin. Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah. Billy Martin also would go off the deep end.
Yeah.
All right. Enough old guy stories.
Yeah, that's really old.
There I was listening to my AM radio station one sunny afternoon. I heard this young man arguing with the officials. Boy, it was a sporty conversation.
Where are we at? OG asked that one. So we're down to the final round. Mindy, what you got?
Oh, honestly, I don't really have much of anything else. There's a K-shaped economy news story floating around where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. I think that's going to continue. I think next year we're going to have the people who are invested in the stock market that keeps going up doing better, and the people who are not invested in the stock market or are losing their jobs or having more, the inflation is going to affect them more. I think the K-shaped economy continues.
How do you monitor that? How do you ask the question?
Well, Joe, it's been a year since I recorded this last time, and I don't remember how to do this right. So
I don't know how you do it either. I had no idea how you asked that question.
It's Mindy. A freebie for the 8-ball.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Tesla has started a robo-taxi fleet, except in Austin, Texas. They just took their drivers out. They had safety drivers sitting in the passenger seat. They have said that they are going to start delivering cars, driverless cars, to people. They have delivered one, so technically they are correct. Will Tesla deliver 10,000 driverless cars by December 1st, 2026?
All of a sudden you're a ninja. All of a sudden you like know exactly how to ask the question.
Can you ask it again? No, just kidding.
It cannot be determined at this time.
Try again.
Highly doubtful.
Oh,
wow.
I could see that. I could see that one too. I don't know, Len.
I saw a story the other day about robo taxis, driverless taxis. I don't remember the town. I believe it was Dallas, could have been Fort Worth. It wasn't Austin, where all the Waymo cars are disregarding, maybe it was in Austin. They're disregarding school buses. And so school buses stop, put the arm out, stop, flash, kids cross, and they just drive. They don't stop for the kids. They've got like thousands of videos of this. And the answer that the Waymo people have, and I'm putting them out there because if you work there and this is your answer, shame on you. Their answer is, yeah, we're working really hard on the software. Yeah, we're just, it's just a hard thing to get programmed in correct. Could you imagine if I just zip past a couple of school buses and the officer's like, what are you doing? You can't do that. Like, first of all, it's a gigantic ass ticket that they're going to hit you with. And
at the least.
As they should.
Absolutely, as they should. And secondly, they would be like, what are you doing? And I go, hi, yeah, it's just really hard to learn those flashing signs, just in random places. I'm going to work really hard on it next time. They'd be like, we don't give a shit. Here's your ticket, bro. And we'll see you in court. Why are we not fining the living crap out of these people every time it's on? They have the videos. They have, because they got the traffic cameras or whatever attached to these. Every single one of these should be the same freaking traffic fine to that company that you and I would have to pay. And frankly, it should be docked out of some idiot programmer's paycheck until they get this solved, because this thing's going to run over some kid and they're going to be like, oh, God, that really sucks, man. We're sorry. It's a computer. What are you going to do? I just try.
That was my thought, OG. Why don't they just go hire the emergency PR firm right now that they're going to need and start teaching the CEO to say, I'm sorry.
Well, and I kind of don't understand why the police, they did an interview about this, and I think it was in Austin or some city around Austin, where they did the interview with the chief police. They're like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, driverless cars, they're nuts. It's like, no, dude, start sending friggin' tickets. Like, this is why the whole government exists. This particular reason, to prevent major issues, not necessarily out there to do a bunch of other crazy stuff. Literally, yes, city prosecutors, like, do a lawsuit. Anyways. Woosah. Needless to say, I will not be buying a driverless friggin' Tesla anytime soon. Or any other car for that matter that's driverless.
I'm not sure how OG feels about that.
I like the ones where they like drive 50 miles an hour into the flooded road. There's like
flying right into it.
Or the traffic circles where they get caught in the traffic circles.
I love that one.
That one makes me laugh.
I'm caught in a taxi and I can't get out.
I can't get out because this thing's driving 40 miles an hour in a circle.
Len, what's your last one?
Well, I'm going to change. We've had a couple football questions. I'm going to go against. I was going to do something about the World Cup. I'm going to go away from that. The average price of a Big Mac. They always talk about that for inflation. They'll say, well, let's look at the average. So I just went on to Google.
Not me, Len. I talk about the price of a school lunch. That's what I talk about for inflation, which is what we should be talking about.
Yes. And actually, we do that as kickoff for the sandwich survey as well. That's what I always use as my jumping off point. But I thought for this one, just for fun, because some people go to McDonald's still. I don't know if a lot of you do because they're so expensive. But on Google, I typed in average price of a Big Mac. And you know how the AI overview is the first thing that comes up now? According to the AI overview on Google, I guess we could use this as the authority for next year to determine what it is. This year, it says it's $5.79. $5.79. So I want to know, on December 1st of next year, when you Google in average price of a Big Mac, will the AI overview say the average price of a Big Mac is $6.50 or higher?
Big increase.
Definitely yes.
Oh, boy.
It's like a 20% increase in Big Macs.
Yeah, that's what it says.
After all the inflation we've had at restaurants, I'm not sure that, I don't know about that one.
I don't know. A few years ago, it wasn't, I don't think it was $2 or $3, and it's already up to $5.79. So you never know. Especially if the rates are going down, right? If they drop those interest rates and the economy's still roaring, you never know. You never know.
Just McDonald's decides to take advantage of it. Grab every dollar. We shall see. And we're recording this when I'm hungry. I don't know why that question made me so hungry. I'm like, oh, Big Mac. That sounds really good right now. OG, you've got the final question for 2026.
Well, I'm going to stick with the inflation theme there, Len, for just a quick second. You've got quite an inflation rate there assigned to Big Macs. It might be a McDonald's profitability inflation increase. I did see this thing the other day on Reddit where it was there was a McDonald's in a Aleutian Island military base. At one point in time, they just shut down the base, like literally kind of overnight. They're like, hey, we don't need this thing anymore. Those Russians are never coming at us ever again. So we're good. We can close this thing down. It's like kind of a town that's kind of, pardon the expression, frozen in time. See what I did there? Anyways, I saw a picture of a display board from the McDonald's, the drive-through, like here's how much everything was. It wasn't that far off. It was like the 90s, and it was, it's like $3 for a Big Mac, like you said. I think there's some higher costs there being in the middle of nowhere in Alaska at the time, but I think most people look at that and go, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so back to my inflation thing. I'm just going to look at regular core inflation year over year. So I'm just looking at data as of September of 2025. So maybe that's as early or as, recent as the data is, because it gets adjusted and so on and so forth.
Which means we'll have to go September again. Which
is fine. And we're at 3.1 was the estimate, and it rose to 3% in 2020. And I'm sorry, in September, year over year. So September 25 backward to September of 24 was right at 3%.
This is the CPI, right?
Yes, CPI. And so my question is it going to be over 3% year over year when we look at this again in September 2026?
Definitely yes.
Okay. So the themes all check.
The themes
Stock
do.
market goes crazy because of all the rate cuts and inflation skyrockets. Everybody goes, oh crap, I got to put my money in gold.
Which would make sense too. With inflation, the price you would expect the gold price to go up to, and inflation. I mean, the story that the 8-ball is telling here, it's not contradictory.
Let's look at it this way, Len. It's either going to be really, really right or
or it's going to be like this time, like this year.
It is, because it definitely does. It's got a theme next year. Stock market up. Good time to refinance your debt by June, because Mindy will be right on the rate cuts. And then watch out for the inflation and buy all your Big Macs the first half of the year.
Double lever your stock portfolio and short Bitcoin.
There it is. And don't count on buying Chinese AI stocks because they won't be available.
They won't be there to buy.
Man, that was fun as always, guys. Thank you so much for helping us.
The time just flew, Joe. It just flew.
It is crazy that we're doing this again. When I was even emailing you guys about this, I'm like, can you believe? I feel like we just made these predictions. And apparently the 8-ball wasn't ready for the answers because holy cow. But let's find out what you guys are doing. OG, it is second weekend of January. What you got going on this weekend?
Every year at this time, we bail to the Caribbean for a week. Fine dining.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
At what's called the Cayman Cookout. We're hanging out with some of the world's greatest chefs on the beach, eating caviar and drinking champagne. It's a tough life, but hey.
That sounds horrible. And as we record this, every year you've got some spectacular. Do you know who the chefs are going to be yet?
Yeah, they're largely all the same year over year. There's a couple of people switch here and there, but largely the same guys and gals. Yeah.
And Andre is, what's his name?
Jose Andres. Always has a big thing. It's hosted by Eric Repair from Le Bernardin in New York and Blue in the Caymans. Or his restaurants. I think he probably has more than that. But
I got to tell you, watching the latest season of Chef's Table and watching the episode on Jose Andres's career was pretty incredible. The amount of things that guy's done and giving he's done is just quite an amazing fellow.
He's a guy for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of amazing, thanks for hanging out with us, Mindy Jensen.
Thanks for having me, Joe Saul-Sehy. I always have a lot of fun here.
It was super. But what's magical is when you listen to BiggerPockets Money. So what's going on over there with you and Scott to kick off the year?
We are talking about retirement. We're talking about people who are starting a little bit later in life. Last year, we did a fictitious plan for a woman named Barb, who's fake, starting over from her life at age 50. She has essentially $0 in net worth. Here's a plan to get her retired in 10 years. And then we are doing it now. She didn't have any debt. Now we're getting ready to talk to Nancy, who is also fake, who has some debt involved in her story and the different things she can do to get herself to early retirement or traditional retirement if she's starting at age 50. Because we do believe that you can still retire no matter when or where you're starting.
Cool thing is there's lots of Barbs and Nancys out there.
There are.
Yeah, good stuff. And that's it. The BiggerPockets Money Podcast, where finer podcasts are downloaded and streamed. Mr. Penzo, thanks for kicking off 2026 with us again, man. What's happening at lenpenzo.com?
lenpenzo.com, that's right, where the ads are always plentiful and it's very hard to read the actual articles in between the ads. Which is intentional because I want you to accidentally click on those ads, hint, hint, when you come to my blog. Come on by and accidentally click on a few ads. That's what I like.
But always good, entertaining stuff.
Yeah. Hey, and if you get a chance, buy my book. It's on Amazon and at finer bookstores everywhere. Well, actually, I haven't found one in a bookstore yet, but maybe one of these days there might be somebody might have sold a used one or something at some bookstore.
We got to work on that. We got to get you into bookstores across America, Len. Let's get that done. That's our 2026 goal right there.
What's the name of the book, Len?
It's called True Money Stories. True Money Stories. It's definitely on Amazon. You can find it there.
Fantastic. And 34 AI ripoff versions of
No. That's right.
Has that happened yet?
I don't know. Is that true?
Well, they're doing it to all the books. I mean, people go out and they make AI ripoff versions. Yeah. Well, it's like a guide to Len's book or
really
a guide to Mindy's podcast or it's horrible. Just
I didn't know that. No.
People ripping stuff off and throwing it up on Amazon as fast as they can. You will find Len's book, Len's blog, Mindy's podcast, and all the questions we asked the Magic 8 Ball this year on our show notes page at stackofbenjamins.com. Doug, man, you got it from here. What should we have learned on today's episode?
So what's stacked up on our to-do list for today? First, take some advice from our roundtable. Based on 2025's results, don't try and predict the future. If our Magic 8 Ball can't do it, your luck might be not so great. Second, surprises during 2026? It is certain. But the big lesson? What are you doing trying to predict the future instead of making stuff happen? Let's get rolling on a great 2026, huh? Who's with me? Thanks to Mindy Jensen for joining us today to predict the future. You know what's in your future? Listening to BiggerPockets Money Podcast, that's what. We'll also include links in our show notes at stackingbenjamins.com. Thanks to the great Swami Len Penzo for hanging out with us today. You'll find him at lenpenzo.com when he isn't scolding his Magic 8 Ball for the horrible year he had. Thanks also to OG for joining us today. Looking for good financial planning help? Head to stackingbenjamins.com/OG for his calendar. This show is the property of SB Podcast, LLC, copyright 2026, and is created by Saul-Sehy. You'll find out about our awesome team at stackingbenjamins.com, along with the show notes and how you can find us on YouTube and all the usual social media spots. Come say hello. And oh yeah, before I go, not only should you not take advice from these nerds, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, speak with a real financial advisor. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we'll see you next time back here at the Stacking Benjamin Show.